Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Quality. It's very good to have you here. This is apparently episode 144, which is amazing that number keeps going up. It can't go down. So, maybe there's something in that to feel positive about. But yeah, it's great to be here again. I haven't co-hosted for a while, so it's good to be back, as others are away on holiday this week. But yeah, as a reminder, this is a MoTaverse event, and we have a code of conduct. Please be good and kind in the chat, and if you join up on stage, we would love to have people join with myself and Demi. And there is a button somewhere up there to join the stage. I forget what the button actually says, but it should be there. But yeah, my name is Rosie Sherry. I am the CEO, founder of the MoTaverse. And today our co-host is Demi Van Malcott. Welcome, Demi. How has your week in quality been?
This week has been drama at work. It's when the other testers are on vacation, something manages to keep me busy. So like it's a good problem to have because it's usually quieter in the summer. So they always keep me busy this way. No, it was like we are like an in-house IT team, but there's lots of teams. We are a very big IT department, and there's one other very big application. It's like the huge database of all the persons and companies and addresses in all of Belgium or something. And for somehow someone had accidentally dropped a table in their testing environment from the database. And because of that, our application couldn't ask anymore to that application, like, hey, do you know this person? Do you know this company? And I couldn't get any test data in our applications anymore. So because it was in their test environment, they thought, no one will notice. We don't have to tell anyone. But of course, I noticed. And of course, that is the moment that there is a bug in production that really, really needs to be fixed within 2 days. And I can't just... So I contact the team. Normally, you're not supposed to contact them directly because they have so much test data that you're like, oh, here is the general mail address. If you need our help, you send it to them. I was like, guys, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I really, really need answers right now. What's going on? How fast are you going to fix this? And you're like, yes, this happened. Yeah, we've been trying to fill the table again since Monday. It was Wednesday by then. It's going to take at least 4 more days.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, no, you need to get the bug fixed to production.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a bit of drama into the day on Wednesday. And I was like, guys, we have a problem. I need your help. I had my team like come up with something so we could test it somehow so we could go to production.
Nice.
So yeah, it was not so fun. It was not so
fun. Are there lessons learned there? Is there a way that like tables cannot be dropped
I hope
in the future?
your weeks have been better.
Yeah.
Drop an entire table is not something that's supposed to be happening. So I'm really curious what went on there. But so, yeah.
Yeah.
So Rosie, was your week better than mine? Did you have less drama to deal with?
Yeah, it's been pretty chill. Simon's away. I feel like I need to touch wood now, because like I'm now worried like something dramatic is going to happen. Because Simon's been out and Deanna's out today, and now I'm worried like the whole MoTaverse is going to collapse on me. I hope not. I hope there's no drama, but yeah, so far it's been a good week. I'm trying to think what have we been doing, or what's been happening in the MoTaverse. What's something that you've seen that's been interesting?
Oh, there is so much going on at all the times. I was like, there is the call for insights with Simon and Helene that went up on crisis communication. I was like, timing, you guys, timing. Uh, it was absolutely wonderful to listen. Um, but yeah, so there was that one. I absolutely loved it. And there was another insights article on doing shifting left right, and I was like, let me read that title again. Shifting left right. um, but it was absolutely an amazing article by Hamisha about shifting testing left isn't just about testing earlier, it's getting the tester's perspective earlier in everything, in the whole process. So I absolutely loved reading the article. It was absolutely amazing. And I saw that AD Stokes has been bombarding the moments with like moving his blog to the MoTaverse. So it was like, it kept coming. And it was like, oh no, I need to read them all. And I ran out of thank yous I could give at a point because there were so much things to look at and they were all amazing. So that also happened.
Yeah.
So there's so much going on. It is absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. Is there anything you caught, Rosie, that was like, oh, I loved it?
Yeah, I mean, like the 80s stuff is interesting for me because like 80s, like he's mentioned that he's gone into like semi-retirement and he's had a blog in the past, and I guess like from the MoTaverse's perspective, it's great that he feels like he can move his content over to the MoTaverse as a place where it can continue to exist rather than maintaining a blog that people probably don't end up seeing, and he has this more one place to share his things. And I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's the kind of person that will stick around for as long as he can as a human being as well. But yeah, I guess from a Motiverse perspective, it's cool that we've been able to develop the platform to the extent where people are seeing that they can do that. And I hope we can just continue to evolve that side of things where actually we have a lot of options that people can blog, people can add links, people can do talks, and it's all archived there in a nice way. And yeah, I guess that also kind of ties into like internally we've been redesigning MOT profile pages. That it's not released yet, but it looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. It's getting close to being released, and I guess the vision that we were going after this time is, I guess as the platform evolves, like good problems to have, maybe feels like a recurring thing that might come up in today's conversation, but we've had MOT profiles, I don't know, maybe a couple of years now. And which isn't that long, especially considering like MOT has been around 19 years and it only took us 17 years to get to creating proper profiles. But when we started it, they were pretty empty. Like, we didn't have as much content against people's profiles to have. There weren't, people could earn badges, but most people didn't have that many badges. But then the more badges we had and the more people started earning them, it kind of started to get a bit messy and overwhelming. So we've managed to find the time to kind of address that and rethink about like what should MOT profiles look like. And our inspiration is basically more portfolio-like or more blog-like. So we've gone with an idea of like your MOT profile will look more like a blog. But it will still feature all the different types of content. But when you go to see it visually, it will feel more blog-like, which is cool. But yeah, good problem to have, right? If the website and user base is growing and activity is growing, it's like, oh, that what we had built was good at the time, but was increasingly frustrating us or annoying us for many little things. So yeah, I think it's important to appreciate the problems and to look at them from the good side of things. Try to think positive rather than feeling overwhelmed. It's like, oh, we've got another project to do. So it's like, it is never ending. But I guess I like to think about the positives. But yeah, other things. MOT London videos are live now, um, which is cool, and we've got some photos coming in as well from the photographer. So that's nice to see things going live as well. Sometimes it takes a while to kind of go through the editing process, but it's continual flow. And I guess also like shout out to Justin Hillsgrove and a bit to Lisa Crispin. Like Justin's been great. He joined as a pro member only recently, um, but he lives fairly local to me. But he's really embraced like the challenges that we've just like casually set him, and like he saw me. He saw the Claude skill that I created, kind of like a what was it the kind of based on like data, like I can't remember what it is now, what it's called, but yeah, it's kind of inspired by Elizabeth Hendrickson's cheat sheet, and I looked at her cheat sheet and I was like, oh, there's all these data types. It'd be cool to turn this into a Claude skill. And originally, I thought about turning the whole thing into one Claude skill that um, people could use to help them test. It was a heuristics test cheat sheet. Um, but then it was too big, so I broke it down. So I focused on one aspect, and then Justin wanted to create one on security. So he just basically copied my approach, but did it for security, and he created a Claude skill for that, and then I published it. Um, but since then, he's just been logging how he's been thinking about Claude and um, projects he's working on, and kind of what I like about it is like I guess I don't. I'm not so attracted when people like give you like the perfect template. Is like use this prompt to get the perfect result to solve this problem you have. Um, there's something about them that never quite works for me. But the way like Justin's been approaching just sharing his ideas, he's like sharing what he's doing and the output, but he doesn't say specifically how. But he kind of just um, shares his experience. To me, that's almost like more helpful because no template is really going to work. It's more like the thinking process behind it. And the most recent one he did was inspired by LLM Wiki that Lisa Crispin had shared, and then he had other ideas around it, and he came up with his own thing inspired by the LLM Wiki, but it was more mapping out the product, giving like a visual obsidian style map. Um, I just thought that's cool. That's really nice. I like it, and I often think about how we would map out the content, the knowledge within the MoTaverse, and that kind of helps me think. So yeah, shout out to Justin for sharing what he's working on, and it is helpful.
I haven't read that one yet, but I saw like the picture coming by in a moment, and I was like, that looks very cool. I'll save that for later. I'm gonna come back to that because the picture itself already I was like, he's doing some amazing things, and I don't know what yet, but I want to find out. So that one is on my to be read pile at the moment. Oh yeah, so Sarah Kitchener is in the comments here is saying like, oh, I can't share the link with you guys because only panelists can share links in um Wistia. So here you go. I think it's this one. Um, Sarah, you go, like making sure the people in the comments can follow along to everything we're talking about. So yeah, but that reminds me, we have people listening live. You guys, if you want to come join us on stage and tell us about all the good problems you guys are having, or anything else you did this week, something amazing that happened that you noticed on the MOT website, like click the button, join us on stage. We would love to talk to you guys. I saw there are a couple of people already in the chats talking along, so I'm hoping at least one of them will join us. So we have some more company. So I saw, for example, Judy Mosley, and Judy, I have to say, I watched your new podcast. What's good? Right during lunch, and I was like, this was the big. So yeah, if you want to come tell us all about making your first podcast episode with Visible, like we would love to hear about that. Come on stage. It was amazing to listen to. By the way, I absolutely loved. I believe Isabel said it, and then we were like, our role as testers is helping your other team members shine, and I was like, oh, I absolutely love how you put it that way. So there's so many cool quotes, insights from there. So definitely recommend listening to it. Uh, so yay! But no, it was amazing.
It's
So, yeah,
so cool. It's so cool. I haven't listened to it yet, but yeah, sorry, I haven't listened to it yet, but it's so cool to see Judy start a podcast, and that's like, you know, what the MoTaverse is all about. Really, is just like trying to encourage everyone to be doing things and kind of getting out of their comfort zone. But I'm so happy for Judy for starting that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It is, and I was like, oh, there's only like 4 people that have registered like for the channel for the podcast, and like it's gonna be 5 today because I'm gonna make sure that I'm now listed as one of those people that want to hear the podcast, because it was just like so wholesome, and it just like after all the drama this week, I was like, yeah, I needed this. I needed the burst of happiness that came from it. So absolutely. So, so, there's so much going on in a week. Then I just picking something to talk about. it, it's so difficult. Is there anything else you remember we need to point out? Let's see what all is going on in the MoTaverse.
Well, as another new speaker was MOT London, Madhuri Mittal. She did her first talk, I believe, or at least with us at MOT London, and that's been great to kind of see a new speaker step up, and like she's been on a journey finding her way through her career as well. So it was really nice to see her speak as well. So that's pretty cool.
Definitely. It's like I spoke at MonoCon, like my first ever conference last year, and it was amazing, and it inspired like my teammate Helene to also get more involved in the MoTaverse. So she did a 99-second talk at MonoCon, and then she did some call for insights with Simon. And now we have another tester on our team, Demetria, and she was like, "Oh, Demi, maybe I find it so cool what you guys are doing and going to the conferences and everything. Can't I also maybe do something?" So we're now trying to see if we can maybe work together on something with the 3 of us. So
Okay.
it's absolutely amazing how you can just inspire people by putting yourself out there and trying and just going for it. It's absolutely amazing.
Is that doing something within the MoTaverse or doing your own thing?
We don't know yet. We're now like brainstorming the idea that we had. So we're trying to like write it down a bit what we want to do, and then we're gonna like see where we're gonna send it in, because now it's like trying to find something that that she would feel comfortable with, because she hasn't done a lot of public speaking yet. So we were like, okay, so what if we did something with the three of us? Would it help if you're not like alone on the stage, whatever place it is, and you don't have to do all the talking because there's two other people talking? So we're trying to I found a topic for her. I got a lot of inspiration during my vacation, so we found a topic, and so I gave them some homework this summer. I'm like, when you guys are on vacation, you're now also gonna get ideas, and here's the what you're gonna think about, and let's see what we come up with. So by the end of the summer, we're hoping to have an idea together to put forth. So yeah, it's gonna be
It's really,
awesome. But
yeah. It's really cool because, like, the call for insights, I think, have been great as a way to get in new speakers, even like existing speakers. I know, like Ash Winter, who's a very experienced professional and speaker and workshop type person. He's been loving it, um, and there's just it feels like it's more relaxed, more easy to just show up and talk about something um, in comparison to talk, which often feels lonely. So like one of the other ideas that we're still like figuring out how to go about it is like doing like roundtables. We've done a couple of them, and the idea behind that is that it's pretty much like call for insights, but it's more in a smaller group setting rather than just two people. And there's been a few, I think maybe three we've done so far. But yeah, we'd love to do more of those as well as a way to, give people options to do. Um, but I enjoy conversations so much more than talks. I always find talks quite like, you know, much harder, especially virtually. It's like it just feels um, hard to know whether what you're doing resonates. I guess, especially if it's pre-recorded and things like that. You're kind of just info dumping somewhat, but I think that's also the reason for many different types of content as well, um, and how they all matter, and having the choice, even like moments, articles, links, that they're all ways to kind of show that you're a professional, show that you care, show that you're actively learning and exploring things. Um, and yeah, I have an article that I hope I will get out today, actually, about lifelong learning, um, where I, that's kind of what the MoTaverse is going for. I think. I think.
I think let me remember again. As the CEO of the MoTaverse, what were we about?
But yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to think of the words that resonate, right? So I'm experimenting with like, yes, we're a community of practice. Um, yes, we practice social learning. Yes, we kind of have formal learning in the form of certs, but that's still kind of social to me because we're working with, to produce them, we had to work with a whole ton of people, and that's social to some extent. And as people are going through the certs, they're discovering new people. It's not just content. Um, so, there's a big angle where learning happens in community. We can't help it. We're always learning from each other, whether it's within the team or from the ecosystem, from people blogging, from people sharing stuff from conferences. We're always learning, and learning is lifelong. Like you don't stop, but we're always learning, but we don't always recognize the learning. Um, and yeah, so I'm basically going to experiment a bit with calling it lifelong learning, at least in this article. See if it resonates, because I think we all have to learn with that a lifelong perspective, but we're not very good at tracking that. And in the MoTaverse, we kind of track a lot of that with badges, with stars, with anything you add. You earn a star kind of thing, and it feels kind of um, gamified, but it's a good gamification. It saves you from tracking it yourself, and you can reflect back on it yourself, say, oh, I have been doing stuff. I have been sharing links. I have been writing moments, and over time it all kind of adds up, so to speak. But yeah, lifelong learning. Hopefully today I'll ship a article on that. But I think it's interesting because no one's I don't think anyone's really doing it intentionally, and I think we are getting better at it. Like every activity is logged, and then yeah, one of the things I did was ask Claude to write a CV based on my MOT profile, which was fun, to see what it would say about me and how I could then potentially pitch that to future employers or things like that. So it's like I'm also trying. We're also trying to think about, well, what is the value we're creating? We don't want to just focus on like followers as a way to measure someone. It's like can people use Claude to create their own CV in the future to help them find a job based on their activity in the MoTaverse. But yeah, it's interesting to think about.
And just so much fun hearing about it. Like, oh, and then this can happen, and this, and like all the like all the possibilities of it. It's so fun to hear you talk about that. Like,
So it's almost like the Claude skill or a prompt or a chat is like an MVP version of what we could build into the product. So when I ask Claude to use my MOT profile to create a CV, it creates a nice output, and I'll probably write about that and share about that. But also at the same time, at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, could this be a part of the product that we end up building? I don't know. Things change so fast that I just don't know what to do anymore sometimes. But it's certainly fun to have a play around.
let's see. 80 Stokes has joined the chat. So hello, 80. Oh, welcome. You missed our shout out of you so bad. Oh no, you missed it. Oh no. Do come on stage and we'll repeat it for you. Sorry. No. Then in other news, we do have Judy. Mostly they're off stage for us. So if Rosie presses the right buttons, we can get her to join us. There she is. Hey,
Hey.
hello, Judy, all the way from Kentucky.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is morning. I have my kale and eggs, which if you're a person with braces, kale is tough. Like I mean, eating with braces as a whole is a challenge, but definitely kale, like it will get in every nook and cranny. So I can't just hop on and be like, hello. But yeah, I'm here. I'm excited. It's fun.
You feel not the camera on today. It's not working, and we would have never known. But
I know.
all good. we love having you here. So, how was it recording your first podcast episode? It was absolutely amazing to watch, but I don't know, like, was there any behind the scenes that we should know about, or how is it going? Have you plans for episode 2? Tell us all
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So I will say, this is definitely also, is it MoTaverse or MoTaverse officially?
I
Does it
don't know.
matter?
Depends what part of the world you're in.
Okay.
Motorverse.
Okay.
Should
All
we do a vote? I don't know.
right. Okay. Well, as long as no one gets hyped up about it, yes. This is definitely a MoTaverse story. So, Rosie, when you and Tristan did your episode together, Tristan Lombard I watched that. I was in the throes of wanting to look for work, not getting anywhere. What do I do? And one thing that Tristan said was, if you are just applying, just and not getting anywhere, just start something. I mean, he was, and which honestly, advice like that typically makes me frustrated because it's so it's so vague. um, but it was I actually followed up with a talk with him. I just had coffee with him and talked some more about it, and we just kinda yeah, it was really I just thought I was like, "Okay, what could I do that I would love?" And I just something that's come up for me more and more and more and more is it just seems like we're just talking about one thing, and I'm not even gonna name it because I know that everyone knows what I mean when I say we're talking about one thing, but you go to LinkedIn and that's the only topic, and for me personally, I thrive on variety. If I focus on testing too much, I it it it's like I need to do something completely different. And if I'm talking about one thing all the time, even if it's a good thing, I still have to do something completely different. And so I just thought like, you know what? And yeah, it does feel like everything's on fire, but there's a lot of good things in the world too. And so um Tristan helped me work out the name, and then I ask the women in Slack channel what everyone does for podcasting because I have no idea. And so I tried out Riverside. But actually, I just in one of the conversations, Isabel said, "I love being a guest." And I was like, I would love to talk to Isabel. um, so I explained the concept, and one thing that I've struggled with is I don't want it to be a podcast about positivity. That's not what it's about. Um, because I think when you talk about positivity, it's almost like, well, let's focus on the good stuff and ignore the bad stuff. And I'm not saying no, let's not ignore the bad stuff. Um, I don't know. I spent all day yesterday clearing out the weeds in my garden. And I was like, this is it. Like, I have I have a small area in my life and there are good things in there. And there are things that I need to clear out of the way so that way I can focus on them. Um and so again, it's not about ignoring the bad things, but it's about like finding the things that are actually that are worth talking about because we can do something about them. Like, I want it to be more about empowerment versus positivity, if that makes sense. So yeah, Isabel was kind enough to be my guinea pig, and we sat down together and no editing. I told her I was like, unless we've said something we will thoroughly regret, I would just rather us talk and be as relaxed as possible. I'm not gonna put music. I'm not and I only made it 30 minutes. I was like, the podcast bros are doing 2.5 hours. I don't have 2.5 hours. Like, um, so I wanted to keep it short. Uh, she had actually brought another topic entirely, and I had mentioned topics before we hit record that I was like, "Oh, we could talk about this, we could talk about," we both had lists, and we didn't talk about anything that we brought to the table. It went on its own road, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. I just wanted it to go, I mean, exactly as it did. It was really lovely. And then I published it on Thursday, and and then I just stayed outside because I didn't wanna fret about, like, "Oh, who's watching it?" or "Is it gonna am I gonna get trolled?" or, you know, just the stupid, thoughts that roll through your head when you put anything out in the world. So, yeah, that's the story.
I love it. I love to hear it. Um, and, and I agree with the idea of empowerment and just like the casualness, authenticness. I would say of just
Mhm,
showing up to talk without um, pre-planning too much or worrying too much about things. And was into the MoTaverse, like this time last year, I had never really done a podcast, and I'd been putting it off for a long, long time. And I started out with the leading with quality conversations, and then after that, kind of jumped into the multiverse. It's like it gave me the confidence to say, actually, no, we need a podcast because I want to talk to people. Basically,
yeah.
it was like I just want to talk to people, and I want to be able to reach out to anyone I want and just say, "Will you come on the podcast?" And
Mhm,
or I wanted people to feel like they could just, nominate a topic, which is pretty much what I've done with most of the episodes. Like, Judy, you've been on it, right?
mhm,
And I'm just like, well, just nominate a topic, and we'll kind of explore that. Um, but there's a phrase in community that I always go back to. As you're talking about like the empowerment stuff, and positivity.
mhm.
Um, I it's I understand the reluctance to be, too focused on the positive, like almost like fake positivity, right?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I'm like, more and more, I'm trying to get better at just being positive and focusing
Mm.
on the good things and how that can motivate what we do as personally or as a team. It's like it's as quality people, it's easy to focus on the negativity, right? Is that, oh, everything's bad or there's problems everywhere.
Mhm,
Um, but there's good problems to have as well. Um, but I always go back to a phrase which I think Peter Block, he's a community, a very long time community person. I think he's like in his 80s now. I'm not sure, but there's a phrase that he says is that to change a future, you change a conversation. Um, so and that's just like stuck in my mind. It's like with MOT, it's like my whole thing is I want to change the conversation. I want to change what we're talking about, because quality and testing in the past has been a not very positive place, or like the conversations. I won't even go into it because it's just like I don't want to go there, right? But it's like it's not where I imagine the future to be, and if we keep talking about those things, we're never going to get to the places we want to be.
mhm,
So everything about the Motiverse for me at the moment is that I want to talk about what feels positive and the things we're actually working on, and it is positive stuff mostly. But within that, we talk about the challenges and how we're doing it and how we're getting there. But to me, that feels like the more we talk about that, then the more the people in the industry will edge towards that rather than edging towards conversations that perhaps tire us out or that feel exhausting or that don't help us progress our career or perhaps don't have real value. It's like, yes, technically they're interesting conversations, but you know, is it helping us get to our next job? Is it helping us solve a problem?
mhm,
Often they're not. So it's like, what do the conversations? What conversations should we be having that will make the world of tech look better or do better, right? And that's where like my mind is at. And I don't. It doesn't mean I know what conversations we want to have, but it's just like I know what ones we don't want to have. So
mhm,
I'm like that. That's like no, thank you.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's. I think it's important to try to have at least some kind of clarity about the things we want to talk about, and to protect, or to recognize how we feel after we have a conversation. Say, is that good? Did that lift us up, or did that, after maybe a TWIQ conversation, do we feel better after it, or do we feel worse? I don't know. I normally feel better. I love listening to all the conversations.
Yeah, I actually, after we finished, I checked in with Isabel, and yeah, both of us were. One thing I really loved about the conversations, which I didn't realize it would do, but it did. It just made this wonderful circle. Like, we started in one direction and we ended in another, but it all linked together. And Demi, I think you mentioned that you loved what Isabel said about making the developers look good. And yeah, one thing that, because I look up to Isabel. She's one of those people that, she's in her older age and she's still doing stuff. She's still creating. She's still being active. And that's what I want to be as an elder person. I don't want to just retire at some strange, someone said I should set number and kind of go off into whatever. But yeah, and then while we were talking, she said, "No, I'm actually not a team player." I was like, "What?" Because, you see someone that far along and you're like, "Oh, surely they've always been like that." And she's like, "No, no, I haven't." So, yeah, it's really awesome.
No, I absolutely love that part, because it was really like, sometimes there's like that one person on the team, you feel like, oh, he can be so annoying, but you work with them. So like I still respect this, and still partner, and you can still pay the most for students you need. Absolutely. It reminded me some the is I say, like, okay, guys, I know that we found some defects here in the tickets that we're testing, but instead of just now making the defects, how about we go ask the developers if they want us to make a ticket for it, or if they're like, oh no, Demi, we can fix this in 5 minutes. It's okay, don't make a ticket for it because it doesn't look good. And like, it's a small thing, because you still found the issue. It's still getting fixed, but it's not a logged issue. It, you don't have to say, oh, there's a defect, send the ticket back. Like, they can work on it. See, in 5 minutes it's fixed, and you move along, and they're happy, and we're happy that it's fixed and it's now doing what it's supposed to do. So every now and again, I do that with my testers. Like, oh, it's a small issue. Just ask them if they can quickly fix it or not. And if not, then sometimes afterwards they say, "Oh, I mean, it was bigger than we thought. Can you make a ticket for it so we can log the work?" Or something. Sure, I'll make you a ticket. But I love sometimes giving them like the option, like, do you want a ticket or not?
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes,
Just because
oh,
they
sorry.
don't like to get the one to keep moving back and forth between testing and development.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I know.
I see my connection is terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I worked with some developers, and they are, I mean, I can think of one especially. He's just so smart, and I'll say, "Hey, I found this thing." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like, I'll just put this in my PR. It'll take like 10 minutes." I'm like, "All right, cool. Thanks." So, he's yeah, he's a good one. But yeah, giving them that autonomy, because hopefully we're not in an environment where it's about like people getting in trouble for issues, but yeah, just helping them see what you found, and knowing that there's no shame, like, no shame, no blame. Here's where we are. What do you want me to do with it? And moving forward. So that's really helpful.
At MOT, we often fix things through conversation as well. We don't have a bug tracker. We just share stuff, and either it gets fixed or it goes on the backlog kind of thing.
Mhm. That's awesome.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but small team, it is what it is.
If it's working, like, is it working?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works. It works. I think that's important to remember. Is like, do what works for you, right?
Mhm.
And we've actually been like trying to get rid of as many tools as possible, because it's all gets very overwhelming, and building it into our platform. Because just like Trello for me, is that I have a love-hate thing with Trello, but it just gets so many boards, so many things going on. But yeah, it's just try. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but it's just like, just as few tools as possible, as much as we can into the platform, and even building CRM like things into the platform to avoid us having any extra spreadsheets that we don't need, or every time we use a spreadsheet, I now think, can we build that into the platform instead of using a spreadsheet? It's kind of like the mindset we have, even if it's like super basic. I've even been thinking about rebuilding aspects of Trello for like submissions, of things. So it's like having status when someone submits to contribute, um, replicating the status of Trello. I think we can do that, but mimic it somewhat, but obviously nowhere nearly as close to as good as Trello. But it's like, if it supports our process and we have less tools, and it makes it more efficient. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot to be explored with reducing tools to enable us to do better work, especially in community. I was speaking to Edge recently on the This Week in Community, um, and it was just like a reminder of like how much work goes on behind the scenes, and the amount of tools that we have to end up using, and the amount of things that we don't see that are happening because we're just juggling so many tools. Um, but yeah, maybe innovation comes from um, creating better processes. I think, with the pandemic, is that all these new tools were often like thrown at us to say, here's a cool new tool, use this, use that. But now it's like, everyone reducing their tool set, and then I don't know. I think there's probably something in that, in rethinking processes to improve quality, maybe.
I read an article yesterday. I'll try to find it and share it, but they did a series on the Hail Mary Project movie. And they were talking about how the particular post I read, it talked about how one environment may like may be better for one person and not as good for the other person. So it just talked about, which spoilers, I guess, but it talked about how uh, Rocky was trying to help Grace, and he injured himself because he couldn't take the level of oxygen that Rocky, or that Grace needed in the moment. It was that whole uh, scene where the ship is spinning and they need to solve that, and um, the author compared it to just us as people, like, that neither is wrong. Like, Rocky needed one type of environment to thrive, and Grace needed another, but they still needed to work together, and that both both environments were needed, and also it's okay to cross into each other's environment to help each other out, but you don't have to, um yeah, you don't you really can't say that one is better than the other. It's just that people have different needs, and that's okay. So, it was a really cool article. I'll share it in the observatory. It's really good.
Yes, do share it in the observatory because I haven't seen the film yet, and I kind of spoiled it kind of bit. But when I have seen it, I will go read the article.
It's a very small part, but I'm sorry. I should have asked.
No, it's totally okay. Now I'm looking forward to seeing the movie so I can understand what the article is about.
Yes, it's so good. Like, I was not going to see it because it's 3 hours. It's so long. And I am not a long movie person. Like, I mean, I'm halfway through my life, essentially. I don't have that many hours, hopefully. And, yeah, I talked to the same developer, and he said, "Judy, when I'm on my deathbed, I will not be sad that I spent my time watching this movie." I was like, "Okay, I trust you. I will go see it." And I loved it. It was really lovely.
Okay, like that's a very good recommendation.
We're gonna have to put no spoilers on this or beep you out afterwards.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Oh man. So yeah, so I'll have to go find that link once I've seen it in the observatory. Because there's so many cool links in the observatory, so I'm gonna have to save it somewhere so I don't forget it. Because I also noticed that like you guys sent out a mail with all the observatory links of this week. It's like very cool to see. And I noticed even when I click on the mail to open the link, I get like the star like, oh, you opened an observatory link, and I was like, how did that happen? I was so confused for what. But yeah, absolutely amazing. So each mail keeps growing my list of things I need to read.
I'm glad you noticed that. I jumped for joy when I realized we could do that. It's amazing. Yeah, you have to be logged in, I
Yeah.
believe, but like as long as you're logged in and click those
Yeah.
links, then you earn a star, and the person who submits it also earns a star. So it's a nice little touch. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
Yeah. And I see there's some activity in the chat as well, with response to my connection being a bit unstable. Like 80 Stokes was like, my connection to reality was unstable earlier this week. Like 80, you still have like 5 more minutes to come talk to us about it. So do tell us what happened this week that made your connection to reality unstable, or tell us about your win of the week that you posted about submitting to the Test Up North conference. Ooh. Want to know what you want to talk about at the conference, of course, or talk about that other sci-fi film that reminds you of Project Kilmer. And let's see what else was there. Oh yeah, Sarah Kitchener was like, "No more spreadsheets," which. Which again, each time our business asks, like, "Oh yeah, put there a download to Excel button," we were like, "No." they love their Excels. So yeah.
I was also thinking about Judy's comment about, is it MoTaverse or MoTaverse? And it's a bit like, is it tomato or tomato? Maybe we'll never know, right? Maybe it'll always be both. But AD's here.
Oh,
I'm just
yes,
gonna have
80
you
is
on
on
stage.
stage. Hello.
Hello, my fellow humans.
Hello, 80.
Yeah.
If you're the
How's-
sci-fi theme.
How's your week in quality, Vin? Come tell us all about it.
Been okay, apart from I've not slept 2 nights for some weird reason. I've just not fallen asleep. So I've been like sat in the middle of the night doing putting ideas together for my book and trying to do chapters, structures and things like that about 3 o'clock in the morning, which has been very odd. And then falling asleep mid-afternoon. Like, I can't keep my eyes open. So it's been an up and down week, but yeah, me and Scott had this idea about if AI has all the answers, how do we continuously learn? If someone's just feeding you all the answers, and we started talking about it, and we ended up diving into it, and we thought there's something here. We can start with just talking about it, and maybe do a talk or like an interactive session or something like that. And we thought Test Up North might be a good place to try it out. Because we sponsored it in the past, and it's in the same place. It's Hippo or Hippo Digital, which is where we hold the Leeds chapter of Ministry of Testing. So it's in the same place. It's supported by the same company. It's like a grassroots conference. It's free tickets, so there isn't support for the speakers, but it's more like a full day community event rather than a conference. So it's like single track. Everybody's a keynote, and it's got the like Rosie's been to Testing Atelier. It's got the same it's like root underground punk conference vibe, just without Gwen Diagram shouting a lot. I don't think she's been to Test Up North, but she's definitely shouted a lot at Test Atelier. Because she came around the corner once and started shouting, and I had my eardrum buzzed for about 2 hours afterwards. Yeah, so I've been working on my book, done that thing, and then my renewal came up for my website, The Big Test Theory, based on the Big Bang Theory, the TV show, because I really like that, and like whatever's in front of me when I'm thinking of names and stuff, that's what I usually go with. So it was up for renewal, and I thought, well, actually, I do 99% of my stuff in Ministry Testing now anyway. I might as well just take all the stuff I want to keep and move it over. So everything to do with my periodic table of testing, I think I've got everything I need to do another look through. And make sure if I've got stuff in draft now, I can maybe go back, and I've got an incentive because it's building my profile. And then all my testing songs and poetry. There's even an odd serious one in there. It's not all testing poetry and silly songs like Testing Live to Glory Gaynor and things like that. So yeah, there's even some serious ones in there. And I didn't realise I'd actually done so many. I thought, oh, maybe only five or six to put across, and I think there's maybe a dozen now in there. And I managed to find a little 20-second video of me singing as well that somebody posted when I was in London at the London chapter. So there's 20 seconds of a song there somewhere. So it has made me think, future project is I should record myself doing the poetry or singing the songs so that there's a full thing to go along with the text. And maybe I can put it on YouTube as, I don't know, the Poetic Tester or something like that. I don't know. I don't need another brand. I tried for years to get a brand, and when I finally got one, it was me, Eddie Stokes. So what do you best know me as? Accessibility or poems? And they went, well, you, Eddie. I went, yeah. So
Well, yeah.
a bit overrated.
Yeah. As we like to say in the MoTaverse, just go for it, right?
Yeah.
And on that note, we have a harsh cut-off time.
Yep.
I'm not allowed to let this go over 60 minutes, otherwise I get into trouble. So on that note, that's the end of This Week in Quality, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.